Hello there, welcome to Heart Explained Therapy. Now, I created these videos to try and help somebody suffer less with mental health. And I see this happening every day. However, I am a little bit of a fraud because at times I still suffer with mental health. However, there's a big difference now. From a couple of years ago, I suffered with mental health and I was in it for weeks. Unconscious behaviour, unhappy, sad, strange behaviours. And now I don't even call it mental health. I know that it's something that sort of appears when I have not been doing very good habits, when I have not been concentrating on my own thoughts, and when something I have sort of attached to an egoic external event taking place. And this now means that I can quickly get out of it. I can understand it, and when it happens I sort of learn from it. I learn in it to express and make these videos and make these videos better for somebody else to understand what's going on. And some people say, let's just take anxiety. What is anxiety? Now, there's possibly 75 million videos on anxiety, and they will all tell you different things, and they will all tell you different processes to use to snap out of anxiety. And I'm going to tell you now a new one, and it just adds this huge list to anxiety. Now, I need to tell you something that you've got to start believing in. Anxiety is a natural emotion that takes place to pre-warn you of you feeling bad about something. It's a sensor. Now, the second thing I've got to tell you is, most likely when you have any mental health, not just anxiety but depression or hyperactivity or low moods or addictive behaviours, what is going on is that your sensor has been alerted well before this point, and you've not took any notice. And you haven't took any notice because you feel uncomfortable. And one of the reasons I will say for anxiety 100% and depression and everything else, you feel uncomfortable because you can't relate to this other, in this case anxiety, this emotion being present. You can't understand and accept why you feel so bad. Now, what you've actually done there is you've separated anxiety, you now have anxiety. Now, it's a very clever thing that your mind can do, that you can separate and say, I now feel different. This is critical for me. I believe that one of the reasons that links to many of the other reasons is a type of identity crisis. An identity crisis with yourself that means you no longer know how to feel and control your own emotions, which are only yours. And let's break that down to really understand it. Why would you have an identity crisis? Why would anxiety be you having an identity crisis? Well, let's look at what you get anxious about. You get anxious about a false scenario that you believe is going to take place that very rarely does. Or you project that you should be in a different state of place, which again is a secondary illusion. It usually involves a person or external item like work, debt, friendship, a separate organic or physical element beyond the illusionary statement, and also beyond or past the other part of you. So let's see what's really going down. You don't know who you are. You don't know how to react when you get anxiety. You don't know what anxiety really is. You have a identity crisis because you want everything else out here, the other, to be right and perfect. You also want to make sure the illusions that you put onto this story are perfect, and they are definitely going to go the way that you think they're going to go, no matter how bad that makes you feel, no matter how dangerous that is. You've boycotted any rational, logical, clever behaviour, intelligent behaviour. It's bypassed and you're completely unconscious. And as you are unconscious, you're making conscious thoughts, trying to survive, trying to keep your head above, which is actually making you worse. And you then still have this separation from your own identity. So you're in what many gurus would never call it, the shit. And you're sinking. And even though you know you never stay in there forever, your egoic mind makes you think you're going to stay in there forever. And what you can do is you can stretch out of this and you can project and propel to the other side of polarised perfection, which is all happy, spiritual, loving, cutting everybody else out, not enjoying every moment that you once enjoyed before, and believing you have sorted out all your problems, only for them to be on a thinner piece of string than they ever was before. And that, I would say, is even more dangerous, because you polarise to the complete opposite. And that's the polarisation that got you where you are now, accidentally, instinctively. So we need to start again. We need to wake up with a new brain and take on new information. You don't know everything, you never will know anything, but now I'm going to tell you something that makes this all okay, and it's coming up in part 2. This is an explanation of what's going on with anxiety, with depression, this completely strange mask that someone else has put on you, and you don't know what the mask is, and you don't know what other people's masks are. You don't know how you should behave. You've got a basic sort of 40-50% knowledge of how you should, but when you interact with people it doesn't always come off, so you just don't know who you are, or even who you was meant to be. And you've got to strip this back. And the part 2 of this is going to show you exactly how to do it, because you deserve to actually do this, and I'm going to tell you how.